Disclaimer, this is a political opinion video. Also, watch this video fully before you comment, because you are likely to misrepresent me while I'm halfway through making my point. Also, before you come at me, I'm not some anti-woke or conservative channel that just yaps all day about trans people in my movies. Fuck women for picking the bear. Conservatives and anti-woke slop channels can go fuck themselves even more than feminists. Also, if you just think women should be more equal or whatever, like 90% of people who identify as feminists, this video is not really about you. But even if you do hate men, I don't care. I mean, it's stupid, but you have the right to just live in a cabin in the woods or build your own private island so you never have to interact with men or women or black or white people or Christians or Muslims or Jews ever again, if you choose. It's your right to do that. My point is that modern feminism, at least, contradicts itself. Like, I don't hate the values of feminism, I just think it contradicts itself so much and it's hypocritical. And it's basically just a LARP that people do because they get mad at shit, but they stand for nothing. Like, for example, feminists have a strong fascination with sex work while talking so much shit about marriage. How it's a man controlling you, but yet praise porn stars and prostitutes. Doesn't really make sense, because if you hated men, why would you want a male boss at your strip club or porn studio? And why would you want male customers who jerk off and use your body and don't care about you at all? Using you as a giant fleshlight, basically. It doesn't make sense if the goal is to not be dependent on men. Why would you praise prostitutes and porn stars and OnlyFans models when they profit off of men objectifying women? Like, how is prostitution any less controlling than you being married? Also, if you hate men, why benefit them by providing your body to them at all? Like, if you hated black people, why would you want to run a restaurant in the hood and benefit the people you hate? It doesn't make sense. Thing is, I personally don't care if you do sex work or not. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea for your physical or mental health. But I don't think the police should just arrest people for victimless crimes most of the time. Like, are police gonna start arresting people for drinking bleach or eating raw pork, since it's technically harming your health? The 4B movement in South Korea is way more logical than American feminists, not gonna lie. Since they actually realize any sexual attention to men is bad using their own philosophy, and they wish an actual boycott on everything related to men. Why can't Western feminists be more like them and be more logical and less contradictory? Same thing with the thing where feminists complain about burqas in Afghanistan. It's just like, using your own beliefs, why would you want the inferior race to even look at you and jerk off to you? Like, feminists should be logically pro-burqa. Burqa as a form of boycott against men's sexual desires, saying, I fucking hate you so fucking much! You don't deserve to even look at me! That's how much you are inferior to me! Fuck you! Again, I personally don't support Taliban or forcing burqas, but feminists should using their own philosophy about not being dependent on men, why not include not being dependent on male validation and sexual desire in that list? Another thing I want to say is most of the problems they talk about aren't necessarily men's fault or patriarchy's fault, and even if we switched to matriarchy and the government was 100% female members, nothing would really change. Like, they talk about the story of Junko Furuta and others, a Japanese girl in the 80s who was tortured and raped for 40 days, then died from having fireworks shoved up her, you-know-what, I believe, and blowing her up inside out, and her remains were stuffed in a barrel and filled with concrete and dumped in a river. All Junko Furuta really proves is that we should have the death penalty for convicted rapists and murderers. And maybe we shouldn't have a hyper-sexualized country and culture where that gets people so addicted to sex they would rape. Like, they make this big deal out of something that we could just pass a simple law on saying. If you are convicted of raping someone, you get the death penalty no matter your religion, or your race, or your age. That's all you need to do to solve the problems of Junko Furuta. The whole thing of younger men getting away with rape because, they're just a little kid with a whole life in front of them. Just pass a law saying age doesn't matter towards the sentence for rapists, and that's solved! A 16-year-old rapist would be considered the same as a 50-year-old in the law. Done! That's all you need to do. Make a law that says even if a woman was butt naked, a rapist would still be given the death penalty. So the "what were you wearing?" question doesn't happen anymore. Like, the problem isn't men, it's the lack of good regulation and punishment for bad guys that's causing most of the problems, and people just taking advantage of the lax rules. Same with immigration crisis in Europe. The problem isn't the immigrants, it's the fact regulations are so shit, the bad guys will use it to their advantage. So just change the laws to be better instead of keeping the good immigrants in, instead of deporting everyone. Also, women, whenever they get in positions of power, they are just as cruel as men. Like, for example, white women back in the day would just accuse any black man of anything to get them killed just for their enjoyment, for fun, for no reason at all. Like Emmett Till, for example. White women owned slaves in America. There was female American soldiers in the Iraq War that tortured civilian Iraqis. Female Israeli soldiers who kill Palestinians. Like, the world wouldn't suddenly be better if women ran everything. People would still have slavery, war, and genocide. I mean, women get into fights with each other with their friends and argue all the time and get into disputes and get greedy, become racist, just like men do. So if women were politicians, there would still be wars and genocides over disputes or greed or racism they personally have as people, just like male politicians do. I mean, there's women like Ghislaine Maxwell in the Epstein files. Erica Kirk ran an orphanage in Romania where kids went missing. That's near a military base known for rape. Margaret Thatcher got rid of a lot of social programs in the UK that led to their country being a shithole today. Trickle-down economics, my ass. Some Australian mining CEO, I forgot the name of, that's destroying native Aboriginal land for her mines. I'm not against living in a matriarchy where only women are in the government, but I just don't think things would really change much. Like, it's not a bad thing, it's just not a good thing either. It's neutral. It's proof the problem is giving people unlimited power with no one to stop them, not the gender or race of the person you gave power to. It's just right now women are less likely to get the same power as men, but when they do, they aren't suddenly these nice beings that never do anything wrong. No, they act almost the exact same when you look at rich or powerful women in the government. Just make better laws about rape, murder, war, and genocide, and punish people for those severely, and most of these problems would go away, even if we were still in a patriarchal government. I know this video is already quite long, but one more thing I need to say. I see some YT shorts of feminists where it literally feels like neo-Nazi propaganda. Like, I sometimes see a YT short that has like a "Save Europe" feeling, showing some Arab or Indian guy being a criminal or defending pedophilia. And I think I am on a neo-Nazi page, but I checked the video title and it has a feminist hashtag. Like, I don't have proof for this, but I have a feeling there's some neo-Nazi or Zionist group somewhere that's making fake feminist accounts on YouTube Shorts to promote anti-immigrant and anti-Arab and Afghan propaganda with feminist branding so that they slowly brainwash centrist or leftist women one step at a time, like a pipeline. Like saying, "Look at this brown guy saying he can fuck a 7-year-old. Would you want to let him in your country or let all people who look like him in your country?" I've even seen a feminist account praise Italy for taking a strong stance against immigration. Like, it's definitely some sort of an attempt to pipeline and groom young girls into neo-Nazism or Zionism. The thing is, you can talk about Arabs or Afghans or Indians who are bad guys or defend pedophilia or bad things in those countries without being a racist. But the point is, I see feminist YT Shorts accounts that use wording and examples that I see actual neo-Nazi accounts using too. And mysteriously, they never mention white guys or Americans or Israelis being pedos or rapists on their page. Only brown people. I believe like 90% of political YouTubers and TikTokers both left and right, are funded by Mossad or CIA to separate the whites and the blacks, the men and the women, or the gay and the straight, or the Christians and the Muslims. So they fight each other so hard, they don't focus on the class war between the billionaires and the poor. But that's a story for another video if I don't magically fall off a 10-story building or be found hanged with 10 bullets in the back of my head.